Hello, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining us and bearing with us as we work through our technical difficulties, but we made it. Okay, at this time, I'm gonna let's see what was the official clock. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. I'm gonna ask the city clerk to give the roll call. It's now 6:43, 6:53. I'm gonna ask the city clerk to give the roll call. Mr. City
Oh,
Clerk, or Madam City Clerk. Madam City Clerk, please.
yes, Madam City Clerk. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman,
Here.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Here.
Councilmember Suarez,
Here.
Councilmember Kearney,
Yeah.
Mayor Poland Miles.
Here.
Everyone is present, sir.
Madam City Clerk Harbison, thank you for the roll call. Next item on our agenda is our ceremonial portion. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Bernadette Suarez to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. I brought a flag just in case you don't have one right here on the screen.
Thank you. You came prepared.
Are we going to stand?
Ready? Well,
Yeah. Let's know.
okay. Let me just put my desk up. Sorry, I have a writing desk. Okay. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
One.
under God,
Under.
indivisible,
Indivisible,
liberty
and
justice for all.
Amen.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I should say this is a meeting of the Lawndale City Council in the successor agency joint meeting. With that, we're going to navigate to our public safety report. Let's hear from a public safety report. Captain Allen, Lieutenant Leo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm here tonight to present the public safety report for December 6th through January 17th. On December 18th at about 4 a.m., Deputy Doherty conducted a traffic stop near the 15,000 block of Hawthorne Boulevard and discovered the driver was in possession of a stolen vehicle. The driver was arrested and booked at South Los Angeles Station for taking a vehicle without owner's consent. On December 28th, Deputy Manaya located a stolen Honda Civic driving near 49th Street and Freeman Avenue. The Honda sped away and a pursuit of the vehicle ensued. After a short distance, the suspect stopped the vehicle and fled on foot. A containment was established and the suspect was located within and arrested. He was booked at South Los Angeles Station for taking a vehicle without owner's consent. On New Year's Eve, deputies were deployed to conduct enforcement activities regarding illegal fireworks. Throughout the night, the deputies patrolled the streets to catch violators. No citations were issued. There were no reported calls of illegal fireworks into our dispatch. On January 12th, the court case for the fatal traffic collision that occurred on June 15, 2021, where the driver of a Cadillac struck a female bicyclist as she drove through the intersection of 154th Street and Freeman Avenue, killing her, and drove away without rendering aid. The suspect in the case pled guilty to a felony hit and run, causing death. I would like you to know for the year 2021, deputies handled 8,235 calls for service, which breaks down to 267 emergency calls, 2,033 priority calls, and 5,935 routine calls. Deputies responded to emergency calls in an average of 3.6 minutes. Your deputies also handled 286 traffic collisions. Unfortunately, 2 were fatalities. There were 6 DUI collisions. All 6 resulted in arrests. There were 194 traffic collisions which involved property damage only, and 90 traffic collisions that involved injuries. Deputies wrote 2,373 moving citations, which included 15 seatbelt citations. And in regards to arrests, deputies made 413 felony arrests, 750 misdemeanor arrests for a total of 1,163 arrests for 2021. This concludes my report, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Okay, are there any questions of the captain's report? Okay, with that, I want to thank you, Captain, for that report, and thank your deputies for their service.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's move on to our oral communications. Let's hear from our assistant city clerk regarding oral communications.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So for this virtual meeting, it'll be a little different. If you have any public comments, please use the raise hand feature. If you are on the Teams application, it is the hand icon. And I will call on you, cue you up. It's your option to turn on your camera. You don't have to do it. You'll be activated. Once you start speaking, you will have 3 minutes. If you're on a phone, please hit #5 to raise your hand, and we'll start with public comment. Public comment will give a little bit more time for people to get their comments in. So I'll go ahead and take a look, and I see one public comment from Randall Abram.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Mr. Abram, you're allowed to unmute yourself and go on video if you'd like.
Right. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes. We can hear you.
Oh, good, thank you. You can hear me? Great. The holiday season has been the quietest in recent years as far as illegal fireworks. The only fireworks were on New Year's Eve, and it was only a smattering compared to past years. Did the supply of illegal fireworks dry up? Were there more deputies on patrol this period? The signs of the neighborhoods have been a deterrent and more should be posted before July 4th. One can only hope that the city's enhanced fine schedule for illegal fireworks has made offenders realize that there are consequences for this activity. How successful has the city been in collection of the fines for this past July 4th? Is the city still looking at having the fire manufacturers contribute to the cost of enforcement on July 4th? On Monday, July 3rd, around 4:20 p.m., the nanny of one of my neighbors witnessed a drive-by shooting near William Green. In checking with the city right after that, it appears that no one was injured and the suspects were not caught. Is there any update on this information? Does the city or the sheriff's department keep any statistics on where in the city there is significant gang activity? Has gang activity in Lawndale increased over the past year? It is unfortunate the city of Lawndale will be losing another key employee this week with the departure of Matthew Ceballos, assistant city clerk. During his tenure with the city of Lawndale, there has been increased government transparency. In previous years, while only the agenda was posted online, the committee now has access prior to the city council meeting to the agenda and any staff reports addressing the agenda items. Mr. Ceballos centralized the public records request process and made the process easier by having the request process online and updated the city website he coordinated. In the past, one had to either attend a city council meeting or have a cable system. Added YouTube as a viewing alternative provided access to the city council meeting that is important during this pandemic. His quick response to requests was always appreciated, and the city will feel the loss of his valued experience. With so many important positions vacated during the past 6 to 7 months, Lawndale is in a critical position. Hopefully the city can hire capable replacements in the next few months. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Are there any others wishing to speak to this body, assistant city clerk?
I'll give a moment for any other people to raise their hands for general public comments. Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, you may freely move on.
Okay, thank you, sir. At this moment, we will close public comment, bring it to the dais for any comments that the council may wish to offer. What we'll do at this point, if any member of the council want to offer any comments, you can just jump in rather than me going down the line. Okay, seeing no comments from the council. Okay, go ahead. Is that
I raised my hand. I have a question. Could the sheriff respond to the shooting if we have any update on that shooting at William Green? For some reason, I didn't know about that.
Is the sheriff still here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Do you have an update on the shooting that will happen at William Green on January 3rd?
No, I don't have. I can get you information, but I don't have information for you at this time.
Um,
I can update.
If you could update us at the next meeting, I would appreciate it. And also, is there a way that we could get a sheet with updated information for the 2021 year? I did take some notes, but I missed some of the statistics, and I would like to see how fast the calls are and how many like emergency calls and so forth.
Oh yeah, I'll email that to you every time.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead, Councilman. Go ahead. Matt.
We do have a late public comment. They were on the phone.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and let them.
let's hear that. Let me say this first. For me, I would be interested in knowing if the incident was reported, because I know sometimes the incidents are not even reported, and the sheriff department may not even be aware of such. I hope that it was reported, but at any rate, the captain will give us further information at the next reading. Appreciate that. Thank you, Councilwoman. Let's hear from the next resident.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sergeant Healy did email all of us about the shooting on 168.
Mhm.
And
Is that the
there was
same?
a week later or 2 weeks later, there was a shooting on 152nd and Fremona. And he also described the color of the car. It was a gold sedan. They were both in both the shootings. That was an update from Sergeant Healy.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Let's hear from the resident, the public.
Sure. Caller with the last four digits, 1459. I'm going to unmute you and allow your mic. Please press *6. Okay, caller, you're on now.
Pam London, former Lawndale resident. I know you guys miss me so much. The last special meeting, I thought you would be naming a new city manager, but apparently it did not happen. I'm grateful for those of you that finally got on board with Mr. Kearney and did the right thing. Unfortunately, it's a little too late. Apparently, we've lost yet another important part of Lawndale. I hope that considering all the loss that Lawndale has suffered and all the bad things that have happened, I hope that the rest of you will take that into consideration when naming the next city manager. I hope that you will follow your gut instincts and not just some piss poor recommendation from some group of nobodies who know nothing about the city of Lawndale and what the city of Lawndale needs. Apparently some of you do, and maybe not all of you. But Lawndale needs somebody that has ears and knows how to listen and use those ears to listen. Listen to their other employees, listen to department heads, listen to residents, and quite frankly, listen to the city council. Not assume, we all know the breakdown of that, but not assume that they know what council wants. Not assume that they know what is good for the city of Lawndale, because clearly this last person knew none of that, but pretended to do so. So congratulations for finally doing the right thing, but please be very careful in whom you name the next time around. Good luck. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for those comments. We appreciate everyone who provided comments tonight. Unless there's any further comments by the council, we will move our agenda. The next item on our agenda is the consent calendar, item F. What is the pleasure of the consent calendar?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
About on the accounts payable register.
Okay.
Do we always make two payments to the street sweeping? I noticed that on 12/2, there was $36,000, and then on 12/16, it was $18,000. Is there anyone from finance that could?
Yeah, you may have to give them a few moments to tee up.
Councilman Corvus, this is Julian Lee, Director of Public Works. I could answer that question. The payment is there was a delay in payment on a past month, so I do believe those two payments are 3 months worth of their services.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, unless there's any
Robert,
further questions. Yes,
I do,
sir. Go
Robert.
ahead, Councilman.
On accounts payable, Julian, I see we spent over $2,000 at Vista Paint for graffiti paint. How are we using a gallon of paint a day on doing graffiti removal? Because $2,000 is a lot of money to spend on paint. Mr. Lee?
Yes, sir. Again, we are getting hit with a lot of graffiti throughout the city. I do believe we had about 250 locations back in October. We had about 290 in I think that was December, and almost 200 in city of within the city for the month of December. So you're looking at almost 750 different locations that we got hit last 3 months. So the cost of the graffiti reflects those locations that we responded.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Unless there's any further discussion, I will entertain a motion on the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion, Robert.
Okay, the motion has been made by Pat Kearney that we approve the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Cuevas has seconded the motion. Are there any debate or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please conduct the roll and the vote.
Okay, for the consent calendar, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman. Vote, ma'am.
Let's see, is she still on?
She's lagging a little bit, it looks like.
She's mute.
Maybe she'll wave.
Yes? No?
Shake your head.
Use the hand.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Use it.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Thank you. Councilmember Cuevas?
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Suarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Kearney?
Yes.
Mayor Poland Miles?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And now
Thank you,
my
Madam.
mic works.
We got you. Thank you, Councilwoman. Next item on our agenda is a public hearing, a continuation of a public hearing from an appeal request, appeal in the Planning Commission decision denying case 2017 for the development of 7,779 square feet car wash facility. At this point, I think I'll open the public hearing. Let's see, let me look at the time, the official time. I'll open up the public hearing at 7:11. So the public hearing is now open. With that, I'm going to suggest, unless someone can jump in here if they want to, I'm going to suggest that we continue this public hearing to the next meeting so that we can completely digest the information that we're looking for in terms of the studies that we're looking for. But if there's anyone who'd like to speak on it that cannot speak on this item tonight, we'll welcome those comments. So let's see if there's anyone who has joined us that can't speak on this item tonight. I'm sorry, that can't speak on this item at the next meeting. And therefore would like to speak on this item tonight. Can you help me out with that, Madam City Clerk, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we do have one so far, and I can go ahead and The username is A. I'll go ahead and let them in the meeting.
Okay, I
Allow
see A.
mic
Okay,
and allow their camera.
very good. Thank
And
you.
go ahead, A. You may provide your public comment. You would have to unmute yourself.
I don't know if I see A in my gallery, large gallery, on the small gallery.
Hi, good evening, council. Good evening, your honorable mayor. Just want to comment on this car wash that we have quite a bit of few car washes in Lawndale. We're being extremely oversaturated. We don't need another car wash in the city. It's not like a coffee shop or a restaurant. It's not a lifestyle. It's like saying we're going to have a liquor store in every corner. I think we should stick with what Planning Commission recommended, and that is to deny the project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those comments. And with that, unless there's any other discussion by the council, we're gonna.
There is one more public comment that popped up, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, let's hear from the public.
The phone number, the last four digits, 1459. I'm going to allow your mic. And you may begin public comment when you unmute yourself. Okay.
I do not see that.
Oh, you were unmuted and now you're muted again. Go ahead.
Pam London again. I was still there when this came before the Planning Commission at one point. I stated then, I'll state it again. Lawndale was known as a city of used car lots. Now, we're closing up the used car lots and we're opening up tons and tons of car washes. The problem is we're not going to have enough cars to wash because the car lots are closing. I don't understand why it is that Lawndale ends up with these types of businesses, why we can't get better business in there. But another car wash, I mean, how many do we have now? 7, 8? Or will this make number 7 or number 8? It's enough already. It's a very small city to have so many car washes. I understand that they're well utilized, but their tax revenue is butkus. And I think Lawndale needs more tax revenue, not more water wasting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for those comments, ma'am. Okay, unless there's any further discussion on the item, I'm going to suggest that we hold this over to the next meeting, or next available meeting. Madam City Attorney, do we need a motion on that, or can we?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. This is Greg Murphy. Thank you for asking. We would definitely need to pick a date. So if it's our very next meeting, that's perfectly fine. You can move to put it to that date. And I would ask the interim city manager if that agenda is one that could handle this, because if not, and we want to push it out 2 meetings, we do have to announce tonight which meeting we're sending it to.
Okay, very good. So let's hear from our interim city manager to see if it would be appropriate to put it on the next
Mr. Mayor,
meeting.
I'm sorry
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would like to see this meeting on an agenda where we're all present in chambers. It's a very important decision that we have to make, and I would like to do it in chambers with the community being present.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We can make that happen, but that's not necessarily part of the motion. We just have to decide when we're going to have the meeting. In what format, we can decide that as well. And I'm with you on that.
I have another question. Can we do
Yes,
this
ma'am.
its own meeting, like a special meeting, or is that not allowed?
We can. Go ahead, Mr. City Attorney.
I thank you, sir. I was going to say we absolutely can do a special meeting. If we don't have a date tonight for a special meeting, when all of the council is free and obviously the applicant's representatives are free, then it might be good to put it over to your next meeting. That way the council can be polled for when you're free. We can check to make sure that the applicant's team is also free on the same night. And then at your next meeting, 2 weeks from today, yesterday, we'll set that special meeting. That way we're complying with the Brown Act's requirements for noticing. without having to go back and mail notice and incur that extra cost. It will obviously push it out a little bit, but I don't think we can pull everybody quickly tonight. So that may satisfy both Councilmember Cuevas and the mayor's desire to move it. And I think that's probably our best way to do it, given what we're facing tonight.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good plan. We'll do exactly that unless we have any objections on that. Okay, do we have to, so therefore we don't need a motion for that, Mr. City Attorney?
Just for the record, just because we are now remote like this, why don't we do a motion and a vote to continue it to your next meeting of, let me see, that'll be January 24th, sir.
Okay. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to continue this item until January the 24th.
Correction, please.
Yes, go ahead,
next
Councilman
meeting
Kearney.
February 7th. Not January 24th.
You're absolutely correct, sir. I apologize for that. Thank you very much, or we would have been having a special meeting, apparently, that I would have screwed up. Thank you very much, sir.
Very good.
All right.
So did you say February the 4th?
February the 7th, sir.
February
7th. February the 7th, okay. Let's, can I get a motion to continue this item to February the 7th?
So moved.
Okay, the motion been made by Kearney that we continue this item until February the 7th.
I'll second it.
And it's seconded by Hoffman Gorman. Are there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the city clerk to give the vote on the motion.
Okay, for item number 5, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman,
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Yes.
Councilmember Kearney,
Yes.
Mayor Poland Miles.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, madam. Next,
Mr. Mayor, if I may just say for the good of the public watching and also for the applicant, who I know their team drives from different places, we just want to be very clear that on February 7th, nothing will be done except scheduling a special meeting where we can meet in person on just this item. So there's no need to have a great number of people there for this item on the 7th. Just need, maybe one representative, maybe not even that, because we will reach out to them and pull them ahead of time. And so just don't want the public to worry that on the 7th, we're going to be taking a lot of testimony. We're just going to very quickly set that next meeting and move on. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you, council.
very nice. Thank you, sir. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 6, administration. Let's have the staff report, the contract amendment number 1.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and the member of the City Council. This is Julian Lee, Director of Public Works. This evening, staff would like to request for an approval of a contract amendment number 1 for the local road safety plan study. Back in July of 2020, City Council entered into the agreement with the Caltrans for the preparation of a local road safety plan study. This study is an evaluation of the city roadway system and its condition, including the traffic signal signs, traffic control devices, and analyze the intersection and the streets. Study also includes collecting average daily traffic counts data for the possible opportunity in the future grant funds such as HSIP. Iteris is the consultant that's providing this study. When the consultants were about to perform the traffic counts back in September 2020, the city staff requested that the data collection to be delayed because at that time we had an abnormal traffic condition due to the COVID, and we requested the study to be performed at a later time. And now with the traffic condition almost back to the norm, we have requested the contractor to perform the traffic counts. However, like all other cities and municipalities, everybody is trying to do the traffic counts, and because of that, the cost of the data collection has increased over $6,700 due to the demand in the study. The consultant Itiris has agreed to pick up half of the increased cost, and the other half will be paid by the city. In addition, the city staff has requested the Itiris to prepare a certification document, and this will be used to select a responsible bidder, responsible contractor in the placement of the citywide traffic signs and posts. There are about 1,300 traffic signs and posts that needs to be replaced. Such tasks, preparing the specification, will cost around $12,000 to $15,000 in normal condition. However, because that tourist knows the data and familiar with the work, and also us negotiating, the work will cost the city almost about $7,000 for the work. So the total will be about a little over $10,000. So with that, staff recommends the city council to approve the contract amendment number 1 for the local road safety plan study in the amount of $10,283. Thank you, and staff is available for any questions.
Okay, thank you for that report, Mr. Public Works Director. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions? Seeing none, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the contract amendment number 1, as stated.
I'll motion that we approve.
Okay, so the motion has been made by Cuevas and seconded by
I seconded Councilmember Suarez.
Councilwoman Suarez, has seconded the motion that we approve the contract amendment number 1. Any discussion or debate on the motion? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the city clerk to conduct the vote on item 6.
Okay, for item 6, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman,
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Yes.
Councilmember Kearney,
Yes.
Mayor Poland Miles.
Yes,
The motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Next item, item 7, authorizing the purchase of a beverage container recycling receptacles, urban renaissance litter recipient. Okay, that's pretty fancy. Okay, let's have the staff report about these trash receptacles.
Thanks, Mayor. Again, this is Julian, Lead Director of Public Works. Item before you would be the staff request to authorization for procurement of a beverage container recycling and litter receptacles. City of Lawndale participates in the Cal Recycle Grant Fund since 2005, and City has received over $8,500 for fiscal year 1920 and over $8,300 for fiscal year 2021. City also has utilized these grant funds to purchase these new beverage container recycling and the litter receptacles in the past, and there are about 21 of these that are in the city and throughout the facility. These are called urban renaissance litter and recycling receptacles. These recycle trash combo receptacles are made of stainless steel construction with a powder coat finish for the anti-graffiti features. And this receptacles has 36-gallon capacity on the lower chamber for the trash and 16-gallon upper module for the recycled beverage containers. These stainless steel receptacles allow the city to use these Cal Recycle grant funds and also recycle funds rather than using the general funds to replace the recycling and trash combo cans. And also promote the recycling to the public citywide and save on the maintenance cost because of the special feature of having both the trash and the recycle components to it. Other than the 21, there are 55 existing receptacles that are currently in the city streets that are old and damaged and that are dear need of replacements. To purchase these receptacles, the staff would need to request the city council to authorize the 2 Cal Recycle beverage container grant funding cycle of 1920 and 2021 to be combined along with the AB 939 funds and solid waste funds for the large-scale purchase of the 55 urban renaissance litter and recycle receptacles. The total purchase amount of these receptacles will be $120,856.25. With that, staff recommend the City Council to authorize the purchase of the Urban Renaissance litter and recycle receptacles from Forms Surface, a sole source vendor, for the total amount of $120,856.25, and approve the transfer of the Department Conservation Grant Funds in an amount of $8,496 from the Fund 227 to Fund 283, and then approve the transfer of the AB 939 funds in the amount of $54,504 from Fund, again, 276, which is the AB 939, to 283 Fund, which is a solid waste. And then finally appropriate the $63,000 within the solid waste fund from the expense, from the revenue to the expense. Thank you, and staff is ready for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee, for that report. Are there any questions of the report on this item 7?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, the question.
Julian, none of the funds you're requesting is from the general funds, correct?
Correct. None of the general
And
funds are being used.
And we're replacing all the current cans, or is it just a section of the city that we're replacing?
We're replacing the rest of the trash cans that are in the bus stops and throughout the city facilities.
Like the one that got ran over on Englewood and 147th?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Question.
Thank you.
Councilman, Pat Kearney.
Okay, Julian, I have, two concerns. First
sir.
one is, are they going to maintain, because we have trash cans out there right now that are over full, that have to call in, I don't know about the rest of the council, but I call in to have them dumped. That's my first question, is our landscaping going to take care of that? Are city workers going to do that?
It will be taken care of by the Republic, and in case, but there is also in case that it does get overflow. In those cases, our staff will respond to that. There are some incidences where some people do dump trash on regular weekdays. I know there's one in Osage that does get dumped on Mondays. So on those, we do need to go out there as a staff to remove the trash as necessary.
And then my second question is, how are we going to prevent the homeless people from going through the recycle on the top of the trash can? We had the two right here at City Hall that I come in, I walked in the city, and I see the homeless going through the top part, taking all the recycle out. Are there going to be nets on the holes and just one centralized hole on top to put the recycle in? Or is it going to be open like the ones we have at the City Hall?
It is going to be open as like the City Hall, and if they were to put their hands in it to take it out, they are going to take it out.
Okay. Well, maybe we could check in and see about next time, maybe, when this council decides to buy new trash cans, we have nets on them. Because it's defeating the purpose if we're going to have recycle and trash, and we don't recycle anything, the homeless recycle at all. But those are my concerns. Thanks, Robert.
One
Sure, go
more
ahead.
question, Mayor. Julian, how often does Republic pick up those trash cans? Once a
Usually
week?
twice, if I'm not mistaken, usually twice a week. But usually twice a week from what I know. But I think they do. I think they do pick up maybe 3 times a week on some of the hot spots. But usually twice a week with our staff responding to those hot spots.
Could we maybe work with the businesses and have them adopt a trash can where local businesses, on the days that Consolidated doesn't pick up, maybe they could take out the trash? Is that something that could be done? I know certain areas of LA, the businesses adopt a trash can.
I do believe so. I would work with Red Led to pursue that in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any further discussions on item 7? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve and authorize the purchase of these containers, the beverage containers.
I'll motion to approve the purchase.
Okay, the motion's been made by Cuevas, and sound like that was that Kearney?
Yes. Mr. Mayor, can I just ask, Councilmember Cuevas to also approve the transfer of funds as requested and to appropriate the money within the solid waste fund, just so we can do it all in one motion. Thank you.
Okay, I'll motion to transfer the funds exactly like Greg said.
Yeah, you can so move it.
And I
Okay.
still second it.
And you still second, and seconded by
Yep.
Councilmember Kearney. So the motion's been made and second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk.
Okay, for item number 7, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman,
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Yes.
Councilmember Kearney,
Yes.
Mayor Poland Miles.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 8 is a successor agency item. Let's have a staff report for item 8.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Jared Chavez with the Community Development Department. Today's item is a consideration of the recognized obligation payment schedule, the ROPS, for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. And it is under current state law, successor agencies are annually provided a tax increment funds to pay the debts of the former redevelopment agencies. Successor agencies must prepare a recognized obligation payment schedule, which is the ROPS, annually. The county auditor controllers uses the ROPS to determine the amount of tax increment, and it will give to the successor agencies for each annual ROPS period. After a successor agency prepares a ROPS, the payment schedule is reviewed and approved by the successor agency's oversight board and then approved by the California Department of Finance. Due to the recent department heads leaving the department, myself and the interim director of finance were under time constraints, so our ROPS preparation was actually taken to the oversight board today in the morning, and it was adopted. We do have to submit it over to the DOF on February 1st, and staff presented the ROPS to the LA County Oversight Board, and like I said, it was adopted. And staff requests that the successor agency reviews the ROPS 2022-2023 and adopts the ROPS at today's meeting, January 18th. And staff also requested that the successor agency authorizes staff to change the ROPS 2022-2023 and or any administrative budget if needed to satisfy any last minute requests from the changes from the DOF. I will now pass it on to John Does, the interim finance director, to add a little bit more information regarding the numbers attached to the ROPS.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. So the ROPS for the fiscal year 22-23 was submitted to the Oversight Board this morning, in which they approved it. The ROPS overall budget is $3,269,000, and it is comprised within our Exhibit B a breakdown of what the ROPS budget actually represents. And what it basically represents is a debt service that the successor agency owes related to our 2009 tax allocation bonds, as well as agreements that the former redevelopment agency had with the city. In addition to that, the ROPS provides an administrative budget of $250,000, which we also include in the schedule. So after the approval from the Oversight Board and the City Council, we then present the budget to the Department of Finance on February 1st. At that point, they review it and they will follow up with us for any changes that they recommend in the coming months afterwards. And that is all for this presentation, if you have any questions.
Okay, very good. I do have one question. In adopting the ROPS by the oversight board, did they provide any commentary? Or they
No
just,
comments, Mr. Mayor. This is Jared. No comments were provided by the oversight board. They just looked at it, reviewed it, approved it as it was presented.
okay, very good. That sounds like that's good news then. Is there any additional questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, I'm from the successor agency, I should say. Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the successor agency on this item, item 8?
I'll move to approve.
So the motion's been made by Cuevas that we
No, it was
approve. Let's
Councilmember
see.
Suarez.
Yes, that's
And also-
Councilman Suarez, and seconded by Pat Kearney. Let's make sure we understand the actual motion. Yes,
John,
yes,
on
sir.
beside that. I just want to say great job in Jared and John getting in under the wire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Are there any discussion on the motions? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the city clerk to conduct a vote on this item.
Okay, for item number 8, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman,
Yes.
Councilmember Cuevas,
Yes.
Councilmember Suarez,
Yes.
Councilmember Kearney,
Yes,
Mayor Pullen Miles.
Yes,
Okay, motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Next item on our agenda is the city managers, the interim city manager's report. Anything you'd like to report, ma'am?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, City Council. I just have a couple items I wanted to share with you. Just one is just an update on the reopening of the community center. I know during the last council meeting, I indicated that we would come back in January with a report to you on the status of the reopening. However, due to, the surge, as well as us needing to do some additional prep work, we're going to have to come back and bring this item back to you at a later date. But we do plan to provide you with something as it relates to the reopening of the community center. And then the other final item, I just wanted to congratulate Matt on his departure from the city. Is with heavy heart that we are losing him. He's been a wonderful asset to the city. I really have appreciated working with him over the last 3 years, and he truly will be missed, and I wish him well, and we all wish him well. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Madam City Manager. Okay, next item is items from the city council, mayor and city council members. Let's hear from, I wrote it down, Councilman Pat Kearney.
thank you, Robert. In the months prior to this meeting, I attended the Library Trust and Oversight Committee meeting on 12/8. Then I attended the South Bay Web Board annual award ceremony with Councilwoman Cuevas and her better half. And it was at SoFi Stadium. It was fantastic. Oh, Robert, you were there too. Don't forget Robert.
Yeah.
Most of us attended the city employee holiday lunch on 12/9. It was great to, there's a couple of people dressed up kind of silly, but it's okay. And then I attended the South Bay Chamber of Commerce installation luncheon where Mayor from Lomita, Mark Warnick, was sworn in as president. And with that, I turn it back over to you, Robert.
Thank you. Councilwoman Suarez.
I didn't jot down the dates like Councilmember Kearney did, but I know I attended a few COG meetings, the steering committee, legislative committee this month. And then I did want to say thank you to Matt. I think our resident Randall Abrams highlighted his accomplishments very well. So I'll steal Pat's line and say ditto. And then I did want to throw out there that if anybody was planning on doing the homeless count, that's been postponed. It was originally, I think, for the 26th, I think. And it's pushed out to February. So keep an eye out for that if you were planning to do that. And with that, I'll pass it along.
Yes. Councilwoman Cuevas.
Well, I don't have dates, but in the month of December, I participated and represented the city in the Donate Life Rose Parade float decoration. Also, I attended the 8th virtual workshop for the general plan update. We only had 3 citizens that called in on that day. We also did Santa Sleigh. I attended the City Employee Recognition Luncheon, the SBWIB Annual Award Dinner with Mr. Kearney. We represented the city at the Lawndale PTA Christmas Baskets giveaway and donated some toys to the House of Yahweh for the holidays. In January, so far, I've attended the League of California Cities General Meeting. I also jumped on a call with the LA County Public Health COVID call. The SBC, the COG, basically Homeless Service Task Force Zoom meeting. And let's see. Also, I would like to thank Matt for all the years of service to the city. I only had the opportunity to work with him for a couple of years, but it's been really great working with him. He always has an answer to any questions that I have, so I will miss that. One question, and I don't know if Julian will be able to assist me. I was walking the city after the 3 wise men's birthday, which is January 6th. So I was walking the city on the 7th, and I found a lot of Christmas trees on the sidewalk. And it was not a trash pickup day. Normally Wednesdays is trash pickup day on the southwest side of the city. And so it took 5 days for those trees to be picked up. Is there any way we could work with Consolidated so that they could do a special tree pickup the day after January 6th or somewhere around there?
Thank you, Councilwoman Cuevas. We usually do have Republic pick up those old Christmas trees in the early part of January. This year, we actually had a little hiccup with Republic because of their increase in COVID cases. They had some trouble with their staffing to pick those up. Again, those are some of the things that we definitely want to do in the future. But this year, we did anticipate to pick up early January. However, because of the COVID cases by the staffing of the Republic, we had a little bit delay, as you noticed. And again, we will prevent that for next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman-Gorman.
Yes, Mayor. I too attended the South Bay WIB at SoFi Stadium event on the 8th of December. I attended on the 10th of December the installation of the new president at the South Bay Chamber of Commerce. And I also got to be with the guy in the big red suit on the council night of escorting the guy in the big red suit through the city. And I think that is it.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, I too attended the South Bay Workforce Investment Board recognition dinner. Actually, one of our residents was recognized as well for going through the program. And so that was nice to see one of our residents recognized at the dinner. Also attended the regular meeting of the Los Angeles County Sanitation District, where we talked about all things waste, trash, refuge. We talked a lot of trash. I also attended the employees recognition luncheon. It was good to see the employees have an opportunity to be recognized for their years of service here in the city. So I want to thank the employees once again for all their years of service. Also attended and participated in the Santa Sleigh. And I also participated in the Y7 Sports League, a nonprofit sports league that serves kids in Lawndale and Hawthorne primarily. They had a toy drive. Actually, it was a toy giveaway where they gave away toys for the Christmas holiday. And that was my activities. I also want to say congratulations to Matt on your new position, your new venture. You're going to do great there, as you did great here, as you did great in your previous city. They're really lucky to have you as the newest member of their team. And I just want to thank you for all you have done for the clerk's office in particular, and in general, our city in general, and for being a team player, because I know you've been involved in some issues here in the city that traditionally is not under the umbrella of the assistant city clerk. But you was able to just jump in anywhere we needed you, really, and I really appreciate that. The skill sets and your willingness to participate and to help out any way you can. So we say congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you around when things permit. We'll see you at the League of Cities and all those good things. And we want to say congratulations to you. I want to see if you want to have any parting words. You don't have to have anybody.
I'll pop.
Are you crying?
I was tearing up just a little bit. I'll be honest. Mayor, members of City Council, thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience here in Lawndale. You guys have a great city. It's small but mighty, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working here and being a service to the city. And I'm gonna miss everyone. I really am. All right, I'm gonna turn off before I really start crying.
And thanks for sharing your power bars with me. Those things are pretty expensive. So
anytime, Mr. Mayor.
It's welcome. Thank you, sir. Okay, with that, we do have a few closed sessions, I should say. 1, 2, 3 to be exact. I'm going to ask the city attorney to give the provision of the closed sessions, I should say, that we'll go under. Mr. City Clerk, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council will recess into closed session under Government Code Section 54957.6 for a conference with the labor negotiator regarding negotiations with the bargaining unit representing the city's mid-management and classified employees. We'll go into closed session under the same code section to discuss labor negotiations with the unrepresented employees, and under Government Code 54957B regarding appointment of the city manager. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We will.
Okay.
In recess. Okay, we have returned from closed session. I'm going to ask the city attorney to give the report of the closed session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. The council was briefed on all 3 items in closed session. No reportable action was taken tonight. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, it's time to adjourn. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Lawndale City Council will be held at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, February the 7th. In the council chambers are to be determined. So this meeting of the Lawndale City Council of the successor agency is adjourned. It is now 8:15. We are hereby adjourned.